Or when we're already screwed. And this is part two of the video. If you were listening to part one, welcome on in. Uh, we're talking about the 3-4 defensive switch by Ron Rivera now and how that applies to the Seattle game that we're playing next. I think part of the reason why the 3-4 was not successful is Luke Kuechly had to learn from Bruce Irvin. Plus, he didn't have Thomas Davis. Plus, Shaq Thompson couldn't cover the bright side of a barn in the first half of the season. Second half of the season, he started learning a little bit, got lazy. Maybe he got it some coverage plays every once in a while, but it by the time he got it figured out, we're already out of the playoffs. And I don't know who's supposed to be blocking these gaps. I think it's supposed to be him. I could be wrong. I think it's supposed to be him. But these running backs, even the most average ones, were running circles around us all year. I mean, who the heck is Geis? I've never even heard of this guy, and he gets how many yards on us? Come on, man. The 3-4 is not working. Clearly, it's not working. I don't understand why we switched. I still, to this day, do not understand why we switched. I figured, okay, maybe this is an experiment by Ron. Let's just see what happens at the beginning of the year. You know, maybe we get the right personnel in. Maybe we get some run stopping to the point where we can cover our butts with the secondary. But to this point, it's not working, clearly. Someone's clearly not doing their job. Ron Rivera did not understand it fully. Bruce Irvin had to teach Luke Kuechly about the 3-4. So clearly Luke is still learning. So he can't help you. With Thomas Davis gone, where does that leave us? You see what I'm saying, folks? And to make up for the fact that we don't have any pass rush whatsoever, we start blitzing everybody up the middle and leave Bradbury and Dante on islands. See, this is where me and the coaches start to part ways, man. This is where we start parting ways. To the point where I am not a fan of what they're doing at all. And a lot of people agree with that. A lot of people agree with that, folks. You know, the focus with Dante's words is not the fact that he didn't do it in the proper channel for me. It's what he said and how he said it. He said it respectfully. He's not trying to knock these coaches. He's trying to knock the coaches' decisions on certain plays. And he's right. You don't leave that man on an island. Who puts Luke Kuechly on the number one receiver in the middle of the field 50 yards downfield? Like, why would you do that? I get he's Luke Kuechly, but he's not freaking Superman out there. Come on. Get the man some help. Give him the proper coverage. For goodness sakes. I get that it's the 3-4, but you don't have a linebacker covering the number one receiver, like, for a third of the game. This is where we're at now. You know, we need a change. The new coach is going to bring change. Tepper's going to bring change. Everything's going to change. And I hope for the better. I hope it's for the better, folks. I know y'all want to see it. Things change for the better just as much as I do. But we've got to support the change. We've got to support the idea of change in Carolina right now. We don't have to change. We don't have to support the change itself immediately, because maybe it could be wrong. Maybe it could be the wrong change, but we do need to support the idea of change and be open to it. Clearly, what we're doing in the last 4 years is not working. Clearly. I'm with Tepper. I am tired of the mediocrity. Long-term mediocrity should not and will not be tolerated in Carolina anymore. I'm with you, Tep. I'm with you. 1,000%. Things change. 2020, it starts. Now, he did say that he had a fantastic relationship with Cam Newton. Now, what he didn't say is going to speak volumes. But what he did say is that he prefers a healthy Cam Newton on the field. I agree with that. But here's the problem. You're still sitting at 90% healthy Cam at full. That's the best you're going to get. See, he's buying into this same rhetoric that everybody thinks that Cam Newton is going to be 100% healthy and come out there and act like Superman again. He's getting older, folks, first of all. Secondly, 90% is the best you're going to get. And I've said that in previous videos, and I'm going to say it again for the folks that don't seem to understand it in the back. You know? And I'll say it again respectfully to Tepper, man. You know, 90% is the best you're going to get. You can't expect anything more than that. And for those saying that they'll take a 90% Cam Newton over the backups, 100% agree. 100% agree. I'm with you on that. Now, and the reason I say 90%, again, for those people that don't understand this, is that Cam's shoulder is never going to be fully 100% healed. Plus, his decision-making hasn't been fantastic lately. Like, he's, in those 6 losses that he took, his decision-making was on par with Kyle Allen's. And that's not helpful for us moving forward. That's not helpful at all. In fact, that proves to be detrimental to us moving forward. Even with the line, I don't know. With a healthy offensive line that's actually better than average, then we can revisit that conversation about the decision making. But 90% is the best you're going to get. Anything more than that, you're dreaming. You're putting him on a pedestal, and you're dreaming. So, I think with a 90% Cam, we can revisit this conversation about whether he should be traded or not, what his future should be. But only after we tank the season, we clean out the scouting department, the training staff, the turners out of the front office, and replace them with people that we really, really need in there from the new head coach and the new staff. Then we start looking at the draft. once we get through with the draft, we get our roster set for preseason with free agency, then we can start looking at Cam Newton. That's when we start looking at him. And by that point, he should be 3 months healed and recovered from his surgery. Then you can have that conversation again. But for right now, let's table it. Let's table it. And let's do what's best for our franchise right now. I'm going to put out a video this coming week about positional draft picks and what I think our plan should be through the next 3 years. As far as what positions we should draft and when. Based on what I've seen and what the patterns are. Now, granted, Gettleman, we're drafting against Gettleman. We're drafting against the Bills. We're also drafting against Wilkes as well, wherever he ends up. So keep that in mind. But, and Gettleman's been known to screw up some drafts for everybody around him, except for himself, to where he comes out on top. And that's really my thoughts on that. But we'll revisit that on a different video. Right now, the focus should be on tanking the rest of the season. Let's give 100% in this game, and let's keep pounding. Stay loyal, stay classy, be respectful, keep pounding.